Hello everyone and welcome to a tech demo of our next Let's Play. I do these to get some feedback from you guys regarding sound and video. Please let me know what you think in the comments, especially about the levels of my voice versus the sound levels of the game. I want to make sure that the game, you can hear it, but you can also hear me over music and whatnot. So that's the whole purpose of this. And additionally, make sure that you tell me if the video is looking strange or anything like that, or if I'm off kilter, because sometimes I know my sound change, it's not quite in sync, but it should be, given that I'm using a new setup. Additionally, if you are new here, you will be hearing my commentary throughout every single video, so if that's not something you're looking for, I apologize. You're just going to have to find a different channel to watch. I know there are plenty of channels that do no commentary that are out there. This Let's Play is going to be in English. I'm going to be choosing the English language. I play with the Japanese language for myself, but I know that may be difficult for my English viewers, so I will be using the English language options. Given that this is I don't know if I can call it remaster, but it's basically a remaster, there are a lot of changes to this game. Originally I thought it wasn't going to be quite as intricate as it was, but there are quite a few. I'm not going to be addressing the majority of the changes in the dungeons or like small little things, but I will be addressing the major changes that you just can't avoid. So if there's a specific thing that you're looking for, like differences between each of the dungeons or something, that's not going to be talked about in here, though I will be mentioning things like, the guns, the grappling hook, that sort of thing, the new confidants. We're going to be discussing those. So let's get in here. There's a few things that I do want to discuss regarding what I'm not going to be doing in this game. Joker fail. Apparently he can in fact fail on the loading screen and smack into to the monitor, but nope, we're good here. First things first, there's some major changes kind of across the board when it comes to that video and the loading screen. Cool, right? I don't know, I actually really love this little interactive loading screen. There's always new things that I'm noticing, kind of just weird little things. Oh, this is a little Velvet, you see the Velvet Room sign up there? I actually missed that. There's the app sign, the Velvet Room sign, that's very cool. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know, I've missed that multiple times. There's always new things. Okay, so some of the things that we are not going to be doing in this game. Well, let me load in here. Okay, well, let's just jump into the equipment section, because if you bought this game, and I think if you buy it, I'm assuming the codes are still good, and I think it comes with every new edition of Persona 5 Royal. There is some DLC that you can get. In fact, I don't even know if you need a code. I can't remember, but I think you do. And the game comes with some fun little bonuses from older games. So like you can see here, we've got some teen glasses, and it says glasses that allow one to see clearly in the fog. This is a reference to Persona 4. There's a C's armband, which is from Persona 3. This is the same from like all of these. There's like a whole bunch of them. This is really cool, including an evoker, which is really cool. But if you don't have access to this because you don't have the code, because you bought this game used, I don't want to use those. So I'm going to be completely avoiding any DLC content, at least in this regard. If you are interested in using those for yourself, because there are some really nice bonuses, like there is this money boost here from the C's armband that can be really good if you start out and you need some money very quickly. That can be helpful. But it's nothing that I'm going to be using in this one. Now, if I head to the Velvet Room, because that's where I'm going, there are some additional things that you unlock with the DLC. Now, I don't want to limit myself to not using these, but I also don't want to summon them because, well, let's take a quick look. Yeah, these cost nothing to summon, and these Persona are actually fairly good. They're not anything like super special, and you can probably get better Persona. In fact, I know you can, but for being free, yeah, that's really nice, especially when they come with some pretty good things to start with. And these Persona are also references to some of the other games as well. So you've got like Messiah here, which I think is probably my favorite. Yeah, you can see level 81, but comes with some really good stuff. The weaknesses on this one are amazing, by the way. But in the background, it talks about that this is a persona from another story. Very cool stuff. Like I said, not going to be using these. However, if I summon them, like by fusing, perfectly welcome. I'm going to accept that. If I end up fusing these guys, either by random chance or just because that's what I happen to have, I'm counting it. It's good. That's gonna be fine. But I will not be summoning them through the registry here. Some other things to address here before I end this video, because there's not a lot left. This will be a full social link let's play, which means I will be focusing primarily on boosting my social links and not really focusing on things like mementos or maxing out certain things. I will not be finding every location on the map. I think there are some ways to do that, but I have found that it's easier just to do a second let's play, or just do a second playthrough if you're really interested in maxing stuff like that. If there's anything specific that you're interested in seeing in this, please let me know in the comments, because I am always willing to see if I can work some stuff in. But the timeline of this game, much like Persona 3 and 4, is very restricted. You're constantly working through social links, and it's very important to do that. Though it's not, I mean, it's not the end of the game, the end of the world if you don't. We do have, I think there's a couple new confidants that we need to address in this particular let's play, so that you won't find in the original Persona 5. But the only other thing that I really want to discuss is the walkthrough that I'm going to be using. Basically, when I was doing some searching to, actually find a guide, I hated all of them. It's really unusual for me. There's usually a lot of guides out there for how to play these particular games because of the calendar. There were a couple that I found that at least led me a little bit, but honestly I found them both very lacking, and they were all in HTML and not in text-based form as many of the older games. You can find text-based stuff that you can just copy and paste into like a Word document so that you can work off of. And the fact that they were not in text-based form really pissed me off. I do not want a guide in HTML. That's just how it goes. So what I am going to be doing is, in the comments there will be a link to probably a Google Docs document of what I'm doing. I will be updating that document as I update each episode. That way you guys can follow along. If this Let's Play is still going, or if it's done, then that document should be available for your perusal and use. I don't think I'll be uploading it to any, website or anything, but it should have a lot. One of the biggest things that I wanted was a calendar along with just kind of your small things. There's a lot of micromanagement that I'm going to be doing, not necessarily needed, but that'll make the game a little bit easier, especially in the beginning part, which I think is the hardest part for a lot of people. A lot of people seem to have a lot of problems with the first palace, because we'll talk about it in the Let's Play, but there are reasons for it. And so there are some things you can do to make that a little bit easier, and as well with the rest of the game, just make things easier kind of across the board. And I'm going to be addressing all of that, but it wasn't written in any of the guides I found. So unless there's an official one out there, which I didn't look for, honestly, I ended up taking a couple guides, trying to work through them. Most of them failed, actually. So I just kind of created my own using a little bit of hints and tips from here and there. And honestly, the whole thing is just a smorgasbord of things. And honestly, it doesn't match anything I've found anymore. So I'm going to be adding all that. Additionally, I'm going to be adding like battle tips, bosses. As far as I can find, I can't find a guide of all of the listed persona and shadows that you can fight in dungeons. I don't know why that's not there. Additionally, I can't seem to find a guide for the conversational stuff in dungeons. Again, all of that should be in the text-based walkthrough. There might actually have to be two guides, because I think I will be creating a Excel sheet for, well, not Excel because I don't own Excel. I use some open source edition of Excel, but for the persona that will list the weaknesses and whatnot for each dungeon. I just find that so much easier than dealing with the HTML versions and having to have 5,000 things open just to get through it. Yeah, it's actually been really, really difficult. And I don't know why there's no complete guide in text for this game. I don't mind HTML, but I find it to be useless for if you're, like me, who my laptop refuses to hold internet for very long, so having a text-based form is just so much easier. I don't know, and I want people to be able to take my guide and put it into Word and modify and mark where they're at, because that's kind of the whole reason I do this stuff. So with all of that, I think I've addressed pretty much anything. If you have any questions for what I'm going to be doing in this Let's Play, please drop them in the comments. If the sound sounds good, let me know. If the sound sounds bad, let me know if it's the voice or the music that needs to be adjusted, or both probably. Does the video look good? What do you guys think? I don't know what else you want me to address. If there's anything that I haven't addressed, please ask. And this is going to be starting probably June 8th maybe, and I haven't quite figured out a schedule. There will be about I hate to say this, there will probably be about 200 episodes of this particular game, even going through like 30 minutes episodes. This game will probably end up taking me about 100 and something hours to get through for dungeons and dungeon crawling and grinding and all of that kind of good stuff. So there's going to be quite a few episodes, and doing 2 episodes a week is going to end up taking like several years. So we're going to have to adjust the time schedule for this game. I haven't quite nailed that down yet, but that will be released whenever I get the first episode out. So that is about it. Thank you all so much for joining in this tech demo. I hope you're excited for Persona 5. If you're interested in future Let's Plays, even though this is going to take me forever to get through, please let me know. I'm going to be phasing Skyrim out for something else in a little bit as well. I'm kind of done with Skyrim for right now, and that will be replaced with who knows what. But if you're interested in any of that kind of thing, drop the questions down in the comments. There will be some links to my Twitter and whatnot in the description, so if you're interested in following me and hearing about me talking about video games elsewhere, please stop by those locations. I think I have an Instagram and Twitter, and I've not been using Discord. I apologize. I also have a Patreon in case you are interested in that. That's pretty much it. I think I've covered all my bases. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the first episode of Persona 5 Royale.